Hey guys, welcome to today's episode of The Corner Store. It's your boy Gerald Cadet. You guys haven't heard from me in a while. I got news for you all. Today's episode, we're going to talk about the NFL. The NFL is kind of back. It's kind of back. Training camp is kind of starting. And then we're going to talk about what we all are here to, discuss. And that's the NBA season's back. Thank God for the NBA season. And then there's some housekeeping things I need to talk about, such as the top 10 that just happened last night. Yes, last night for the NFL, and I'm gonna explain to you guys why I don't like these top hundreds. I know I got a little beef with them, because Eli Manning, but that's besides the point. But let's start off with talking about the NFL training camp. This past Friday, the NFL and the NFLPA agreed on safety protocols to basically get the NFL started again. As I've been talking about on my past couple episodes, I've been talking about now for the NFL, now it's time. Now it's time for you guys to step up to the plate. It's time to step up to the plate. You guys ended February, I believe it was February 7th, you guys ended. You guys, the pandemic basically officially started mid-March, so about March 10th. So you guys had from March 10th to now. No, you guys got rid of OTAs, which is really, it's more for the incoming freshmen, you should say, the rookies. And then you guys got rid of mandatory and voluntary mini camps, which is basically, once again, for the rookies. So now it's training camp. You guys need training camp. Training camp is important for everybody to get on the same page, to basically gel, build the chemistry that you need for a long, grueling, now 17-game season. We're going to find out how this is going to work. So basically, this past Friday, like I said, they talked and then they announced that they had an agreement of how training camp and basically the lead up to the season is gonna act as. So basically, in years past, you come in, you report to training camp. I believe training camp officially started on Friday. I can't really tell you guys off the top of my head who were the first two teams to report to training camp. I believe it was the Colts, and I can't think of the other team, but I know the Colts for sure came on Friday. So usually on Friday you get your locker room, or not locker room, your locker. You get all your equipment for camp. You get your helmet fitted. You get your pads fitted, and then you go to the training. You go to the trainers, and then you get your physical to see if you are fit to perform, to compete at training camp. And after that, you guys usually at the end of the day, you guys take your conditioning test, right? That's the regular normal training camp protocols for everybody, I believe. No matter what, I believe from high school on up, you have that. You get fitted for your helmet, you get fitted for your pads. You also get your physical for the most part, and then after that you guys take your conditioning test. Well, for now, the first day is technically a 3-day process. So basically, you need to pass 3 Co-Vid testing to basically be admitted to the building, to the training facility. 3 Co-Vid testings to get to the starting line, which is funny. Then they said for day 5 and 6, players who haven't passed all 3 of those testings, they themselves get to go into the facilities and get fitted for helmets and shoulder pads and other equipment, which is kind of peculiar to me, because how does the other staffers in the building, how do they feel about that? That's what I want to know first. That's off the jump. I want to know that. How do they feel about that? Is that 100% fair to them? I don't know. Maybe, I guess, since they'll be there the whole time too as well, I guess it helps. I really don't know. So it's not until day 7. So basically, whenever your training camp started. So today is July 30th, right? July 30th. So 7 days. I believe that's about August 5th. So next week will be August 5th. Next Thursday will be August 5th. You will start after you pass all your COVID testing and everything, all three COVID testing. You will begin your strength and conditioning training for the NFL, for the training camp season, you should say. And it's not until August 17th, teams are allowed to practice in full pads. But remind you, they only have 14 padded practices. So you basically miss about 2 weeks of camp. And then practically now you have to like squeeze in padded practice and make sure that injuries aren't going to happen, which I'm going to get to in a few. The next thing about the agreement that happened is now teams could have up to 80 players at the start of camp. That is to make the grouping easier for coaches and other staffers. And then you guys, I think you still have to cut it down to 55 or 56. I believe is now the roster limit by week 1, regardless. So you have 80, and then you have to cut it down to 55 or 56. But the biggest thing, and I guess it's bad. It's good. It's good in a way where it's good in the sense of because of this pandemic, like the safety wise, it's good. But for competition wise and people like on the edge, really on the edge that got signed in the supplemental draft, or a 6th, 7th round pick, or a guy that's literally on his last team trying to make it in the league again, it's terrible because there's no more preseason. And preseason, going up against other competition, you should say, and basically duking it out and showing and putting your building your resume, basically. Because in football, in all sports, your resume is your film. If your film is lying to you, the film is basically your lawyer. The film tells other teams, even your own team, hey, this guy is good. This guy has some potential. This guy can make a difference on my team. This guy can be a starter week 1. This guy can be part of the rotation. But now it's going to be that much difficult for that. So also, another thing that is very important that the players wanted to know about was the salary cap. So the salary cap is only down about $20 million. It is at $175 million. And this is the caveat. The NFL just has to make it to week 1 and if a cancellation happens or whatever, they said that players are going to get paid by the games that they play. But the players have to make it. The NFL league has to make it to week 1. So I believe week 1 starts September 7th, September 10th. You guys, they have to make it to week 1, and then they get all their benefits. They get all the word was accrued pay for the season, basically. So I guess that's a little incentive on, hey, make sure that you guys are protected. Don't go out. This is camp. Mind you, this is camp. So a lot of people are talking about the football season the football league has to be in a bubble. During training camp, players are in a bubble. Like, this is camp. Like, they can't go back home. They can't leave or whatever. They are in, like, on facility grounds. That's why teams like the Packers, the Steelers, the Cowboys, they go to different areas for their camp. Packers in St. Norbert College. up in Appleton, maybe, I forget. I was playing the team. I don't remember. You have the Steelers going in another college, a college area. You have the Cowboys going, I think it's Frisco, California, I believe it is. Regardless, those three teams are in different places. So the players who have settled down in those places are not going to be by their family up until they have like a day off, which the NFL has made it mandatory that the day off has to be August 8th. So they're in the bubble for now. So you guys just need to be careful. You guys just need to be safe, and then you guys will get your salary for the year, and then all the benefits. And then lastly, they put this option in, which is players have the option to opt out before the season starts, and by doing that, they will receive a stipend. They will have a stipend. We have seen multiple players in the past, not even 24 hours, maybe past 18 hours. Marquise Goodwin, Nate Solder of the New York Giants, Marquise Goodwin of the Philadelphia Eagles. We just heard that Damian Williams of the Chiefs has opted out. About 6 players from the New England Patriots. One of those players being Patrick Chung, Dante Hightower. Players of that caliber are gone. They don't want to play for the season. A lot of them are choosing family over football, which is by far more important. Family is always more important than football. And they're doing the right thing for that. I respect them for that. But now that brings me back to what I was mentioning earlier. I do not think COVID, the coronavirus, will be the main, I guess you could say, downfall of the NFL this season. Do I think the NFL will go through with their season? I really, in my heart of hearts, I really believe they have a great understanding, great background, and I believe they could make it to December. Playoff time, I don't know. Hopefully everything settles down at that time, and hopefully fans can come back. But I believe the NFL will make it to December. However, the biggest thing that I'm not concerned about the COVID. What I am concerned about is injuries. We have seen, most recently back during the lockout of 2010, 2011, so the 2011 season. No training camp. I mean, no OTAs, no mini camps, no voluntary or mandatory. All those pre-workouts before training camp. None of that happened. And then you had mini camp, training camp, I should say. And then people were tearing their ACL. People were having a lot of tissue injuries, tissue and ligament injuries. You haven't had mini camps. Haven't had no type of OTAs. You're going to be two weeks late on a regular training camp, trying to bring in as much, I guess, terminology to get everybody together. And then also, football is a violent game. Football is a game it is still a gladiator game. So there are, and these men that have been working their whole lives to become the best 256 one of the best 256 players in football in the world are gonna go at it. They are gonna go at it. So injuries, unfortunately, will happen. Maybe a lot will happen during training camp. I see that. I won't be shocked. But I see more throughout the season. Maybe the first month of the season when when they say that you could actually play against other opponents, which I guess that's good for teams like the Giants and the Jets, the Raiders, not the Raiders, the Rams and the Chargers, teams that are in close proximity of each other. That's good for them. However, that week 1, September 10th, that week 1, It's gonna be the real first time, like let's say a quarterback gets like real reps. What happened usually in practice, the number one rule is don't touch the quarterback. Now what happens if week one you have like Tyrod Taylor, for example, which I also want to add that Anthony Lynn is right on the money to say that Tyrod Taylor is the week one starter, because Justin Herbert cannot, like I guess stimulate the reps that he needs to have to be a day one starter. And then the hits, bro. That's your future. However, so say someone like Tyrod Taylor, he in practice he'll check, nothing's open, he'll run up, nobody touches him. But let's say real football, man, week one, I don't know who the Chargers are playing off the top of my head, but week one, he checks, he runs, doesn't his instincts doesn't tell him to slide or whatever, and then a guy bang pops him and he's out for a couple weeks. It's unfortunate, but it is the harsh reality of what's about to go on. Amen. Is what it is. But let's keep it in the NFL. Just last night, let's say a couple hours ago, the NFL Network put out, or I guess you should say the NFL players put out their top, they've been, for the past week, they've been putting out their top 100 players of 2021. Yeah, 2021. And last night, a couple hours ago, we saw their top 10 players. I'm going to run down the top 10 players. Number 10 was Derrick Henry. Number 9 was Stephon Gilmore. Number 8 was DeAndre Hopkins. 7, George Kittle. 6, Christian McCaffrey. 5, Michael Thomas. Number 4, Patrick Mahomes. 3, Aaron Donald. 2, Russell Wilson. And number 1, Lamar Jackson. My problem with the NFL top 100. You guys are not consistent. If you guys were consistent, I would say you guys had, like, it's all right to put Lamar Jackson, because Lamar Jackson last year, 2020, was the best player in the NFL. And the number two best player in the NFL 2020 was Russell Wilson. Number 3, I still believe, was Patrick Mahomes. But I can see why you put Aaron Donald. Aaron Donald's a beast. I've been watching film. I'm working on something. And literally, teams are messing themselves up because they had to keep a triple team on Aaron Donald. However, if this list is for the players, so the 2021 season, this coming season, if the list is for that, Patrick Mahomes is number 1. Going into the 2021 season, this man has broke the bank. Is a part owner of the Kansas City Royals. Just brought his team to the Super Bowl. A team that hasn't been to the Super Bowl in 59, 60 years. The Chiefs. The team is intact. He is healthy. Remember, he was injured last season. He missed a couple games last season. He has the same coach. Tyreek Hill's still a dog. They got a McCall Hardman who people say that is faster than Tyreek Hill. Sammy Watkins is still there. Travis Kelce is still there. As a person who like just watches football, you don't even have to like study it or analyze it. Don't you think that the best player, the player that has the best chance of being the best player of 2021 is Patrick Mahomes? Former MVP just 2 years ago. Amazing playoff run. Amazing fourth quarter comeback in Super Bowl 54. And he's not the number 1 player going into 2021. And that's no knock on Lamar Jackson. Like I like Lamar Jackson. And like I said, 2020, he was the best player in 2020. I was like, it's either him or Russell Wilson, and then he just started catapulting towards the end, and there was no competition. But I think, me personally, I mean, if I was to choose, I'll say Russell Wilson is the best player in the NFL. Then Patrick Mahomes. Because I personally think Russell Wilson is a better quarterback than Patrick Mahomes. I think Russell Wilson is the best quarterback in the NFL today. However, if you're just thinking abstractly, if you're thinking with some type of logic, just thinking about 2021, who is best suited to be the top dog in 2021 with their track record, their history track record? It's Patrick Mahomes, MVP. Was he a Super Bowl MVP? And his team is back for the most part. He's missing Damian Williams because of the COVID situation. Okay, they got Clyde Edwards from LSU. I think that's a great pickup actually. I don't know if LaShawn McCoy's on the team. I think he still is on the team. You still have him. Like what are the players? I understand, the COVID, you got the mask on you, you got the carbon dioxide coming in, so it's it got you a little delusional. But Patrick Mahomes should have been number one. Like that, there's no ifs, ands, doubts about it. Patrick Mahomes should have been number one. And like the list I've been seeing during the pandemic, I don't know if you guys are bored, you guys just want reactions out of people. But it got to stop. It needs to stop. It needs to stop today. NFL Network had the last mess up. NFL Network is able to have the last mess up. That's the last mess up of 2020, all right? No more mess ups 2020. We already messed up the world with this COVID. CBS Sports messed up with the freaking having Chris Godwin as the second best receiver in the NFL. And NFL Network is messing up putting Patrick Mahomes number 4. That's my rant. I'm sick and tired of these top 10s, top 100s, whatever, man. You guys want to put out you guys want me to put out a top 100? The people watching this on YouTube, comment down below. And before I start with my next topic, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Now, we are on the NBA. The NBA, it is back today. The NBA, it is back today. Yeah. The NBA is back today. I had to drink some water. The NBA is back tonight. Recently, I talked about, I basically did my prediction for the NBA bubble. I said the Clippers are going to win the NBA championship. There's no doubt about it. Only thing that's in the Clippers' way is this bubble. No, it's not a team thing. It's a bubble. So they have to leave the bubble. We had I guess for some reason the biggest news of coming off the weekend was about Lou Williams going to Magic City, and now he has to get quarantined. You have Patrick is out. Montrezl is out. Well, thank God that they're out at the beginning of this bubble tournament style thing, and not towards the end where the playoffs are going to start. So I'm still on board, 100% on board with the Clippers. The Clippers are going to win the NBA championship. Nobody's really in their way. But I can't really give you guys just that and be done with it. Let's talk about scenarios. Let's talk about scenarios. These are just hypotheticals. Like I said, I still think the Clippers are by far the favorites to win the NBA championship this year. And I do want to say this. I don't think I've ever said this before, but I think everybody who made the tournament this year is in the playoffs. I personally think that. So things like Greg Popovich's Spurs or the Spurs 23-year playoff run is over. They're going to talk about that. I don't think so. They made the bubble. Things like, there's other things too I can't think off the top of my head, but like the one glaring like streak that's on the line is Greg Popovich and the San Antonio Spurs 23 years straight going to the NBA playoffs. You made the tournament, so you are in the playoffs, basically. That's all I want to say. You have a chance. It's basically a whole new season, to be honest with you. So you go undefeated, lose 2 games, you can still make the playoffs, San Antonio Spurs. Just pointing it out there. But anyways, let's talk about some teams to watch out for as we start finally watching NBA basketball. I think the Houston Texans, I still think I'm watching football. I think the Houston Rockets, from the West, there's 3 teams from the West and only 1 team from the East that I think they're kind of a shocker, but not really. I think the Houston Rockets, Portland Trail Blazers, and Denver Nuggets are able. They are extremely able to make a run at the championship. Houston Rockets, literally, the Houston Rockets. You have James Harden. He's a like, you want to talk about walking buckets, man. This guy is a walking bucket. He had 30 points in the first half, 7 threes the other night. But this man, the word walking bucket is like, you see the definition. If you go into the Webster Dictionary, you see the word walking bucket. The picture is there's no word definition. It's just James Harden. That's how deadly this man is. However, it is not about James Harden. That's not the reason why I think the Rockets could make the finals or even win the championship. It is because of his partner, his tag team partner, Russell Westbrook. I'm gonna say that again. It's because of his tag team partner, Russell Westbrook. Russell Westbrook is basically the center for the Houston Rockets. Yeah, it's like during the tips and stuff, it is PJ Tucker, I guess. But the center on the other team, the opposing team, we've seen this towards the end of the, I guess, previous season, now you could call it, where the team center had to guard Russell Westbrook. You saw this with, they played the Jazz twice. You saw this with the Jazz twice. Rudy Gobert was on Russell Westbrook. You saw this with that Saturday night epic with the Boston Celtics. Daniel Tice was guarding Russell Westbrook most of the game. And you've seen it. I believe Jonas Valanciunas was guarding Russell Westbrook when they played Memphis. So teams have no choice. They either have to play small, or for rebounding purposes, keep your big in. But you keep your big in, Russell Westbrook is one of the fastest guys and still one of the most explosive guys in the league. He's just gonna get past your guy. So it's one or the other. Westbrook's gonna eat. Harden's gonna eat. I think Harden's gonna eat because it is a different season, technically. So I think Harden's gonna eat. Now, what will the others do? What will Eric Gordon do? What will PJ Tucker do? What will Austin Rivers do? That's the big question. But Russell Westbrook, the dynamic Russell Westbrook just gave Mike D'Antoni, in the fact that centers now don't just have to just like play the pick and roll and like or because usually it's the 4 that does the pick and roll in D'Antoni's offense with the point guard. Let's see, and then usually the center is just there to get the rebounds or stop the lob. Now you can't really do that with Russell Westbrook there, because Russell Westbrook could play at the 3-point line I'm talking about, and then he could just drive in. That's his specialty. We're gonna see. The next team, Portland Trail Blazers. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I have not seen any of the scrimmages these past week. The past week. I'm not seeing any of the scrimmages because I thought they were useless. It was pointless to watch the scrimmages. But the Portland Trail Blazers, I saw the final scores of the scrimmages. The Portland Trail Blazers, the end score did not tell me it wasn't. Man, it hurt my heart. It hurt my heart. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. It hurt my heart. I guess it's to get Zach Collins and Yusuf Nurkic back, which is a big part of the Portland Trailblazers team. However, if Portland makes it to the playoffs, and I seen this on ESPN's Instagram page. They gave the Portland Trailblazers about a 5% chance, no, an 8% chance to make the playoffs. They have the Grizzlies basically staying at the 8th seed at 63%. It's only if Damian Lillard, not even Damian Lillard, if the Portland Trailblazers just play to their strength with Damian Lillard, CJ McCollum, what usually a problem used to be was the fact that they didn't have a third co-star. Now they have that boy Melo who he could give you 15. He could still give you 15. But they just got to get into the dance. That's the only thing holding them back. They just got to get into the dance. Once they get into the dance, nobody wants to see them. The Lakers, LA Lakers, you guys don't want to see Portland, bro. The last time y'all played Portland, y'all know what happened. Y'all know what happened the last time y'all played Portland. I'm not even talking about that. Next, I put Denver. I like I said, I didn't see the scrimmages, but I seen the final scores. I seen some highlights, and I seen the Denver Nuggets skyscraper lineup. You couldn't miss them. Joker, Plumlee, guys could actually handle the ball at their size. Millsap. Who am I missing? Millsap, Bobo. Guys who 3-point, spread the floor and everything. I'm missing the fifth. I can't think of who the fifth was. But that team, and that's just their big guys for real, man. Michael Porter Jr., Jamal Murray, Gary Neal, Will Barton. They got guys, man. If they have that don't say die and that grit, that dog, that like, I don't care who you are, I don't care if you're LeBron James, Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, Chris Paul, whatever, we're still gonna come after y'all. The Nuggets if they have that attitude, that scrappy dog mentality that their coach has, Mike Malone, you've seen it before. The Nuggets will be in the NBA Finals if they have that. They just have to have that. It's not about X's and O's with them. Do you have that killer instinct? Do you have that dog mentality? If you guys have that, Denver, you guys make it to the finals. Last but not least, I have the Toronto Raptors. Now, hear me out. I did not think at the beginning of the season or even towards like the pause, the Raptors had a chance to make this to make the NBA Finals again. They lost their best player, Kawhi Leonard. I don't think they're better than the Bucks. This is pre-bubble. I didn't think they were better than Boston. I didn't think they were better than Philly not Philly, Indiana. However, now about a 4-month layoff. You're gonna play for about 3 weeks, 4 weeks. You just need to. This is kind of like the NFL right now. You just really need to strike the iron hot at the right time. Toronto has a championship pedigree. Most of the team is still intact. They have a better record, but before the pause, they had it, or the layoff, whatever you want to call it. They had a better record this season than they had last season with Kawhi Leonard. You just have to get hot. You're the defending champions. Pascal Siakam is actually good. I everything I said about him last year, I take that back. They have people like Kyle Lowry. It's a different season, so I'm giving him a pass for his previous postseason f-ups. You got Fred VanVleet, Serge, and others, and others. It's a team. It's a collective team thing. You guys, they just need to strike hot. That's it. That's all they have to do. I think they have a chance to sneak back into the finals. And whatever happens in the finals happens. You saw what happened last year. Hey, man, I'm just trying to start the conversation. I'm so happy that the NBA is back. I'm actually going to be excited to watch the first game, which is going to be, the first game is the Clippers against the Lakers, I believe, tonight, I believe 8 Eastern time. So I'm excited to watch that. But now, I guess to end off the show, I've been talking about this a lot, and I don't know nothing about this. Well, I do know about this, but it's not like I'm not an expert. Like I'm not confident to say I'm an expert like I am when I talk about NFL and the NBA. But baseball came back last Thursday. It came back last Thursday. I actually watched the Nationals against the Yankees, the first game of the season, the new season, the postponed season, and I was glad that finally. Sports I care about are back. I don't care about baseball that much, but it was just good to hear baseball. So that happened. I saw the Nationals against the Yankees. The Yankees beat the Nationals. It was good. It was nice. I saw the Dodgers against the Giants the next game, the second game of that doubleheader. And baseball's back. Then yesterday, 2 days ago now, we had our first Astros incident. Or I guess that's the second incident. They had an incident over the weekend, but it's their first time. And it's against the Los Angeles Dodgers, who the Houston Astros beat for the World Series title in 2017. The year they were caught. Well, they got caught later on, but the year that they allegedly were cheating. Well, not allegedly, it was proven to be right. I said months ago that because of this pandemic, the MLB wasted an opportunity because you had the whole sign stealing situation coming up, training camp, spring baseball coming up, and then all of that wrapped around you hearing people like Mike Trout, the best player in MLB, Aaron Judge, probably the most popular player in MLB, the Dodgers, Eric Bellinger, and many others just stirring the pot, stirring it, and then bam! Late in April, when the season was about to start, all ish was gonna fly out. Whenever any team was gonna play the Astros, it was gonna be a must watch, especially if the Astros played the Yankees, the Dodgers, and probably the Red Sox. You could put in there. But the pandemic messed that up. Or at least I thought. Last week, 2 days ago, the Dodgers played the Astros. Last night they finished the sweep. They swept them. But we're talking about the Tuesday game in particular. One of the relievers of the Dodgers came out. I believe the name is John Kelly came out. Threw a fastball at the head of Alex Bregman. Bang. He gets to walk. Throws, I believe he strikes out the next batter. I forget who that is. Then Correa comes up. Misses inside. Misses low. Throws, I believe it was a curve. Throws that up to his head. strikes him out after a couple pitches after he strikes him out. Comes off. The faces he made was hilarious. Comes off, talks about the Dusty Baker, the manager of the Rockets. The Astros say that he called him. He said, "Nice swing." I'm using his words. I'm quoting his words. Nice swing, B. And then, you know, a little, I'm not gonna call it skirmish, a little hard talking, loud talking started happening. Wasn't no fight, wasn't no nothing. A little loud talking was happening. And then, so at that point, I'm telling myself, I don't really care about that. That's whatever. It's too late. The MLB messed up. It's too late. But then the MLB last night put down a suspension on Joe Kelly. 8-game suspension for Joe Kelly for the whole situation. But then Joe Kelly puts out an Instagram post. For my YouTube viewers, you better look at it right now. Puts out an Instagram post talking about, you guys suspended me when it was the Astros were cheating or something like that. So something along those lines. But the best thing about it, and the reason why maybe the MLB might salvage something, like I'm talking about bringing up the popularity back up, is literally Joe Kelly is holding kids. And the kids are Alex Bregman, Correa, and I can't remember who the other one is. It could have been Jose Altuve. But that right there just made me laugh and like literally made me like, I'm trying to actually go circle. I'm actually going to do it now. I'm going to see when do the Dodgers and the Astros next play. Whenever they next play, I'm going to set my reminder for that. And I'm ready to watch that. I'm going to watch all 3-4 games that they play. So right now, I'm actually going to type it in now. I'm actually going to type it in. When's the next time they're going to play? So the next time they're going to play is September 12th. September 12th, the Astros are going to play the Dodgers in LA. Joe Kelly's going to be there by then. Joe Kelly will be in the rotation by then. That is must-watch TV. Now I want to see how the Yankees are going to be, because the Yankees are adamant that they would have won not the World Series, but they would have won the ALCS back in 2017 if the signs weren't stolen. But man, MLB, y'all got something. Don't mess this up. Don't like downplay it. The MLB, Major League Baseball, is fun when, and it sucks to say this because I feel like this is the only sport this is like good for. The MLB is fun when chaos comes. Like, I look back at things such as like the 70s and 80s, where like managers are screaming, you like pine tart games and all that stuff, the steroid era. That was controversy. And just like a great man, a wise man once said, Vince McMahon, controversy equals money. And it equals like viewership, all that stuff. And right now, because of Joe Kelly, thank Joe Kelly, give Joe Kelly like a raise or something. I'm interested in the MLB season. I'm interested in the Astros storyline. I'm interested to see, can the Astros overcome all this backlash they're having from 2017 and actually make it to the ALCS, let alone the World Series. A lot of people are like, I feel like a lot of teams, especially in the AL, their number one goal is like, okay, if we don't make it, let's just make sure the Astros don't make it. And that's fun. That's literally fun. Literally fun. So September 12th, I'll be watching. September 13th, I'll be watching. I believe September 14th, I'll be watching. The Astros will take on the Dodgers. Joe Kelly will be there. I think Joe Kelly's going to try and sun his sons that day. We don't know. But that's my episode, guys. Thank you guys for viewing, guys. I appreciate you guys for supporting me and all that stuff. Make sure you guys like, share, and subscribe on YouTube. Big things are coming up. I always say that, but you guys know big things are coming up. And you guys might see me again. You guys might not see me again for this week, but I'll be back for sure next week, whatever. This is Gerald Cadet. This is the Corner Store. And I'm out, brother.